Again.
Alright.
Hello. Still doing a bit of a check here. Hello. Check. Neoma.
Konnichiwa.
Wie geht's? Buongiorno. Hello. G'day.
Might as well keep talking. It should be.
Oh, is it still
Well, it's the only thing running.
All right. Well,
point.
if you can hear me good enough, just talk about a couple things, some topics. First off, I'm in California, and I'm by the bay, and Richmond, California, right across the bay, northeast of San Francisco, is got a fire, got a chemical fire at the Chevron plant that has blasted chemicals seen and unseen. It's not always what you see in the smoke cloud. That's the bunch of carbon-based crap and particles. But there are gases that came off and swamped this whole area. People traveling through who still might not have any idea. They don't speak English. They have no idea why their kids are sick. Some people, it's not so much that they're out of touch, it's that they don't realize that they've been touched. And so this just happened 2 days ago. And even on the TV, which I loathe, the thing is government owned, it's bank owned, corporate owned, all of it. So it's all got, that's why we're doing this live feeds. Sorry about the hands. I don't do interviews. I do speak with people. So if I have a poor presence on your computer screen, it's because I live in the woods and pot fields of Mendocino. Anyway, to stay on topic, Chevron fire, one more tragedy killing us.
You can see yourself on the camera, and that's what you're thinking about is what they're seeing.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry about it.
So yeah, whatever.
Here,
Yeah.
Mendocino, and then I got something for your next topic. There's some old ones that I got.
Nice. All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So here's the thing: the BP spill that happened in the Gulf. The cap came off, right? It's broken. It's still spilling oil. And if you don't know about this Chevron fire, and you don't see that from other sources, only from me, why? This is another. I mean, we had Fukushima, spread its waste, and now we have a couple more gas companies spreading their waste. I'm probably preaching to the choir on anyone who's watching this. It's just the way it is. But I think there are solutions, and that's why I'm mainly here speaking. What is this? What is your site so I can promote?
IndependentCitizenMedia.weebly.com.
.weebly.com.
Yep.
Independent Citizen Media. ICM 3.
With
ICM 3, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's a hashtag I made up for it. Occupy SFTV.
Occupy SFTV.
Live stream, Ustream, and YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm not going to try to jump on a bunch of subjects, but no one knows me. Or not a lot of people know me. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Zero with a Z. ERO. I've been with Occupy since the beginning of November, since the first day of November, second day. I came from trying to recall Scott Walker in Madison, Wisconsin. Right before that, I've smoked pot in the Capitol building, and I smoked it up. It was hilarious, good times. Scott Walker is still in there, broke the law, just like George Bush and Al Gore in Florida. They counted up all the chubs, and now still had the state what, it was too late? How does that work? It's too late? It's the president? Anyway, I'm not going to rant and rave. It's one more piece of crap on the pile.
So
The reason I'm bringing up, oh,
sorry,
I
jump
guess
in
we
real
have another
quick.
topic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing great. I just wanted to give you a couple things to have with you to
Oh,
keep
nice.
reminding you of different things
Oh, sure.
that we have.
Sure, just lay them on me. What
Right.
he's giving me is some cards. These cards have wanted for financial crimes, some faces of some of the jerks perpetrating these crimes all across the earth. Your house is under fire. Your family's under fire. You say you live and die for your family. You already are. They're killing them. They're raping and killing them as they please. And I mean that in both senses of the word. If it is a slow one, if it is a fast and violent one.
Those were made by Occupy San Francisco.
Do you want
Intellectual. No, keep going for a second. I'm just trying to get everything arranged here. I've got a bunch of different things that I was trying to get sorted out. The computer and the camera issue was
we're doing pretty
aggravating me, so I'm trying to get some other stuff straightened out so I can continue with this interview. Zero's somebody that I saw at the camp. Definitely, what he says I can vouch for, and he's got a lot of really cool information to share. And we were trying to do a kind of a forum where we could talk and get some feedback going. There's a lot of people out there that want to know what's going on. I am going to be talking about the competition as it's been put. It's more of like a funds drive for some equipment for an independent citizen journalist that deserves it. I'm concerned about that, and we'll talk about that later. So I'm gonna let you get back to Zero so I can finish doing what I was doing. There's your.
Oh, and hope I'm not
Sorry,
boring
man.
you. I do have some
bug.
topics. Yeah, we're still getting it together because this is the way real life is. Sometimes it's sideways and it splatters all over the floor and table and anywhere else we might happen to, you get it. So thank you for bearing with us. I did say there were some solutions. Before we get anywhere else, first off, if you believe that the violence is just gone too far, just simple violence by the military, by the police, domestic violence, then you're watching the right site. You're on it right now. You must be a great individual. There's got to be a heart inside of you that feels like humanity can move forward without all this pain that we cause each other. And one of those solutions, after you have poverty, you end up having crime. It goes hand in hand. You have addictions and all these other things that we talk about and we know. One of the solutions to that problem that we have is by regaining control of our communities. And we don't do that by hiring more police officers. We do that first by hiring, if we're going to hire, peace officers. It's not what cops are anymore. They carry guns. Peace officers don't. And then it's taking back things that are denied such a large majority of the community. When Katrina happened, FEMA was late. Black people who were looting and white people who were salvaging or getting survival needs. The media and everything else, we can leave it aside. We can control it. Public eminent domain. You've heard it before. It can really work. You don't have to be afraid. I've come up with a little treaty, and I'm not here to sell it to you. I'm just saying if this is an option that you might want to consider, I have a little draft of my own that like any population can use, where it puts the community over the government, over the police, over corporations. And I'm sorry, if something happens, my community's going into your Walmart and we're going to take everything we need. If you want us to write it down, we will. But we're not going to owe you. You sell in our community. You're not from where we are. We don't get any kickback from any of your financial gain. Screw you. When we need you, if you want to be in our community and sell us stuff, there's going to be certain aspects that we are going to control of you having your company on our property. And this is up to the community now. It's not up to our government anymore. Our government sells us out anytime they want to. Let me know when the Navajos have cleaned up all that radiation and uranium, and yeah, they're killing them. No, nobody's getting anything back. They gave them casinos. Now they're able to go buy stuff. Really? You killed all my people, and now you're going to sell me Walmart. Right on. One more blanket. So public eminent domain. And what I've written is it could be a community override draft shared by citizens and locals to allow for the immediate and people-powered measure to be legal for humans to provide food, clothing, shelter, fuel, free and clear of government, corporate, or any other unjustifiable control. There is no other involvement through either force, intimidation, bribe, lien, gain, or law against this measure or any of the people who enact this type of plan. Now that's not legalese, because I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to be. Ever. The laws in this country twist with the language. And the language does. It twists and turns to good and bad purposes. And the law tries to set in stone a time period and make rules for a time period that sometimes they don't exist anymore. And so the law sits on the books and they pile up. And these laws aren't reconcilable to what we have now. This sounds really good when our government says it and they say, well, we're going to make an amendment and we're going to vote on it and we're going to do these things, and it sounds really legitimate. Well, why isn't it legitimate when me, just a zero guy human, an alien on your planet for a little while, why isn't it legitimate for me, still born and raised here, to be given these things in my emergency, which is my state of life? Or if not mine, someone else's. I am under the poverty line. You are under the poverty line. The poverty line is so high above us, we don't realize it's 9 times the debt of life of each individual. The 1% has 9 times the cost of the financial structure on the earth. Or yeah, they have 9 times that worth of the whole planet. And there's reasons I have 9, and it's all legitimate. Don't worry about it if you don't think of 9. We know they're stellar and they're super ridiculously wealthy, powerful, and cold-blooded. Not all, but damn near all, because they have to work together. Otherwise, they just kill the next one off. And that's how you do it. If you won't share our way of thinking, we'll kill you and take your money. And it's been going that way for so many years, they can't stop. They aren't ever able to stop. Anyway.
Looking good, man. That sounds
okay,
good.
Well,
thank you for all
thank
that.
you. And so yeah, so let's get on some topics, since we're actually we're A-okay, right? We're done checking. I can stop babbling.
I think maybe I might go the slide over so I can
I can slide over to you.
Monitor. Oh, hi there.
There we go.
Hey.
Ah.
Not bad.
I know I look crazy doing like this.
A couple of things here.
I look like Charles Manson.
Something that I want to say is that Jim Morrison said, and he who controls the media controls the mind. And if everybody's watching TV, they're watching the same media, whether it's Fox News or Tim Pool, you're only getting it from one source, and you have to take everything that you're getting there and dissect it, because if you're just taking it at face value, you might be seeing a biased version of the situation at hand. Now, I know that the police brutality and everything is definitely something that is going on, and I'm not saying that it's not. But being on that side of the line, those guys are scared. A lot of them are assholes, in my opinion, and should not be cops. And Peace Patrol, I really like that. They should be allowed to carry no guns, and we really don't need that if the things that you were talking about, healthcare and housing and clothing.
That's it.
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like that's like the Venus Project. It sounds like Star Trek, but we have the capability and the ability to do that now.
The easiest things to do now, right now, is number one, communicate solutions, positive solutions. The world isn't half full or half empty. Trust me, the world is almost empty. The milk is at the bottom and it smells bad. Okay, and that's the truth of it. You can look at the bright side of things. If you're walking in that haze, then you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. It isn't that the whole world is bad. It isn't that love and beauty don't exist. It's that they're being stomped on. Love, for what it's worth, love is never taught in a public school. Not because it can't be defined, but because it isn't that important to our government. It never has been. Simple love, nurturing, affection, generosity. Why aren't they just taught? It's not a feel-good class. It's a feelings class. And instead we build robots and minions and lemmings and all these things, and anyone who shows a spark of life, we use it. We use it now to pump money. We will hire you. We'll pay you any number you want to. It's not real money. They'll pay you $200,000, then they'll move you out to California, tell you have to live whether it's $2,000 or $3,000 a month rent. And who cares what you just got paid? Now you got to go buy a car, keep up with the Joneses. You have to go invest in this company.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
You're hooked. You're hooked. If you quit your job right now, if you walked away, if you're physically healthy enough, I promise you, you will live. You will live. I will keep you alive.
There's a lot of people out there doing. I saw a statistic that 41% of people are going to urban areas, farming in their backyard.
Yeah, Victory Farms, they're an excellent way to flip the system. Everyone ought to be farming, ought to be gardening. If you live up north, I know you can grow inside, because I grow all kinds of stuff, not just pot. I grew some of that too. I am pro marijuana. There are a lot of reasons why. If for nothing else, we know it solves some pain issues. We know it calms some people down or makes them feel good. We will sell you pharmaceuticals the worldwide, but we will fight a war and kill you and imprison you and your family if you grow a weed. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? In this day and age, in this millennium, 16 states of the United States, more than there were colonies that started this country, 16 states have legalized forms of medical marijuana. The federal government, our government, refuses to even allow it to come to court. They have no agenda for it. There is nothing but the war on drugs from Ronald Reagan's era, and it still goes on today. We don't own our president. Corporations do. Every president in my memory has gotten on whatever platform and podium and told so many lies that within 1 year they were found out. Within 4 years they were found out. We have our mayors of Washington, D.C. smoking crack. We have our presidents getting their dick sucked in the White House, but we can't say fuck on TV or see Janet Jackson's pretty little pierced nipple. What is wrong with this picture? It's a nipple. I have one too. Dogs have them. Cows have them. Mammals. Mammals have nipples. We are in a retarded state of mind. We are retarded. I'm not putting anyone down. I'm talking about a state of mind in the world over. We have been won over. Our laziness has got us to sit down and take it. Are you going to stand up in front of a line of tanks? Because they killed all the people in Tiananmen Square when they stood up. That's what's happening here. A free speech zone? Are you serious? Call it Tiananmen Zone. When they want to, they're going to come in and kill you. We have to take our country back.
Well,
our military belongs to us. There are
right.
people in those uniforms. Our police.
You know,
well, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you're doing great. I know you've had a lot you wanted to say and stuff.
Sure.
I hate to cut you off.
Yeah, we're here for a while.
You know, killing is killing, no matter what. And just because, and I used to have that American mentality of, oh, they're towel heads or they're Arabs, so they need to die because they're Muslim and stuff, and they're But then once I educated myself and learned that they're just people that have a belief system that was, regardless of whether it's Muhammad or Jesus or Buddha, Dalai Lama, whoever you're following, we are all stardust, and what goes around comes around. It is what it is, but we can only make a change if we continue talking to each other. And instead of talking about the problems, we talk about the solutions and implementation of those solutions. And one of the things that I think that's very important is stopping, oil production and all of nuclear. That stuff needs to be shut down. We have the complete and entire ability to run off of solar, hydro, everything else that's available. Plus, look at everybody that's tried to do free energy has been suppressed, and some of them even killed, murdered, and their labs destroyed. Tesla, for example, was funded by J.P. Morgan, and he pulled the contract on that and the funding to Tesla because he found out that his wires that supplied the electricity to the nation would no longer be needed, therefore hurting his pocketbook. Okay, so this is J.P. Morgan. This stuff goes way deeper. It includes the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Warburgs. Oh, by the way, watch the movie Thrive.
Thrive. Watch Thrive.
You like that one, huh?
That was definitely a good movie.
Right. Real quick, I just wanted to say I am known as CIA James. Sometimes you can find me at Occupy One Liberty on Twitter. I've created the Independent Citizen Media Co-op website, and the Occupy SFTV is my station. I have one on YouTube and on live stream, which I'm trying to implement. There's a lot of technical stuff going on here that's hard to do as one person, which I would certainly like help, but it's hard to trust people these days. Anyway, that's a different story. I was working with the Cerevo live shell provided by quantumwireless.com to try and get a live feed. It's supposed to be a wireless device to connect to any camera that has HDMI or some sort of Ethernet port. And, there's a guy that's going to run up Mount Kilimanjaro with this device, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll continue testing it and give you a report back and start using it when I finally figure out the configurations for home networking and this and that. It is actually something that you need to be a PC tech or somewhat technically savvy to use at this time. It's not. If you just set it up for one spot, shoot and go, one network, that's pretty easy. But I tried to use multiple networks and that was difficult. So enough of the promotions. Back to on topic. I wanted to go over these bills real quick.
Yeah, those are awesome.
This is my favorite one, the $4 bill, and it's all about peace and love, and but
well, it's called the perception dollar. Perception dollar. It's waking the global heart. That's what it's got on the back.
Right. You can flip it over for them if you want.
Sure.
You take charge of that. Keep doing what you're doing, and you can see what's going on the picture.
Yeah, I got it. That's
so,
it.
Yeah. Got the feed going.
There it is.
While you're showing those bills real quick, I'm going to read something that's from Thomas Jefferson. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. He said conquered. We took this land from somebody else, and that wasn't right. And everything he said here about the banks, people need to start talking about it. Start growing your own food. Share it to people you don't know. Don't just talk to your friends and family. And just because somebody says, oh, well, I don't want to talk about it, that's political and stuff. I'm sorry. It's free speech. You're allowed to cram it down their throat, especially if you believe like we do. Yeah, toxic biohazard. That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, look, it's got Obama. He's got a mask. He's taken off.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to see on the
fat white guy behind him. Yeah.
Let me read some of the chat real quick here. We had Alex, that I believe was a little while ago, 8 minutes ago, said gratitude and compassion. And Blue Dream 125, New Jersey did over 2 years ago. They still haven't started growing for people. No, people have to do the growing. If you're talking about the growing of food, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, victory gardens.
In
take over rooftops. All this cement, all these parking lots, all these things.
And talk to your neighbors. Get to know the people that you live around so that you can have your own community network of protection. I believe in the Second Amendment. So, I mean, if somebody's shooting somebody and they shouldn't be shooting them, or pulling out a gun and,
no one should shoot anyone.
Nobody should shoot anyone.
People.
Sorry. I am a full-blooded American. I do believe that if somebody is hurting somebody else, if somebody is hurting somebody else and you have the ability to stop them, but you don't have to shoot to kill. You can shoot to wound. There's things shooting. Well,
aim low.
Good. I can
aim low.
Aim low. Bounce it off the ground. You don't have to shoot in the body. Shoot the legs. Yeah. Shoot them in the arm. But anyway, enough of that violent talk.
Yeah, we're not.
Let's go back to the good stuff. Peace and love.
Peace and love. There is a lot of loving individuals all over the world who care so much, and their hearts are broken every day, and you might be one. I feel like I'm one, because we feel like we don't have the power. The trick is we don't believe in the power that we have sometimes. Communication, are you serious? Look at these devices. The power is in the communication, not the media. We can leave their media behind. They already have. They turned from analog to digital, and they're going to sell the analog, whatever. They could buy and sell each other's daughters, wives, and moms. I really don't care, because they don't care about selling ours. Anyway. You ever notice people will think it really rude of you if you just stop talking to them and just start thinking, or just stop talking in the middle of their conversation and put on your headphones and start listening to music? And I don't get it. People they're like, why are you ignoring me? And I'm like, well, it's not personal. I just want to listen to my own thoughts. But they will take a cellular phone a radioactive plastic device that they still can't recycle all of the parts from, and they don't, but they will stick that to their head and tell you and hold up one finger to you like, oh, it's only going to be a minute. Can you hold whatever we were talking about and just forget about it? You know, I will come back. Trust me, my phone is more important. And that's normal. That's the way we've become. And they say government, media, and everything else don't have an influence on us. Well, they do, and it's normal. But by controlling the influence, you can advertise your pizza place all you want to me, but if every piece of trash has micro printing that advertises your pizza, trust me, when I'm walking in the woods in my backyard across the street, I don't want to see your name. I'm not in love with you. I just like your pizza. I don't want to see that trash. I don't want to see all these names all over. Show me where that's at in nature and tell me the corporations are cleaning it up. They don't. The corporations are not running, they are not controlled anymore.
It's regulation of the people, deregulation of the corporations and government. Everybody that has money, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
They can, and they do. You're telling me BP spilled oil? If I fired off my own little oil spill here in the bay, you know that I would be in under 10. They would open up Alcatraz prison. They would open up Alcatraz prison just to put me underneath it.
They get away with
the people, the citizens here would not. They would lynch me with rainbows if that can work. It is the bay. So, you know, they beat me with flowers, but they beat me to death. You can't do that. British Petroleum, Chevron, all these oil companies, they don't give a fuck, period, about any of it. And they need shut down now, out of this country. We've got the brains, technology, and everything we need right here.
Definitely. You know, if we write down our history so as not to forget what was done and to avoid making the same mistakes, why do we keep making those same mistakes? You know, and why do we let people, you know, do the things that they're doing and get away with it? And all there is talk. I see a lot of other countries. You know, I think Americans are kind of
lazy.
Well, I don't like to call them lazy. They're brainwashed, maybe, or
infatuated
or pussy
with
whipped.
shiny things.
Maybe it's pussy whipped. They got it all good, and they got the big
Shiny
army,
things.
and they don't have to worry about anything, and they think that everybody hates them because they've got everything, and they got their, you know.
Can I teach you?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to see why the Occupy movement hasn't jumped up into third, fourth gear at this point, because I don't see as many people out there communicating. I see it actually dwindling, and I see some people.
Okay. Well, I don't.
Well,
I
see a lot of peace and love and heart.
I just came from a commune where there's occupiers.
Yeah? How many?
Who are making a lot of plans and already doing things. Occupy is involved. We take over squats. We break into buildings and we turn on the electricity. We turn on the gas, and we run it illegally. We don't pay rent. We don't pay gas. We don't pay electricity, and we have toilets and showers.
But hold on a second. The thing is I'm seeing a lot of little groups here and there. I don't understand why there isn't a massive movement. I mean, like Mexico.
Sure.
I mean, Chile, everywhere around the world, they are having massive protests around. Well, these are third world countries. You wouldn't die down there? You don't think they'll bust out the Uzis and machine guns on people down there?
If America stands up, I've just got to say it. We're going to stand up, and we're going to stand behind our guns.
Well, I'd like to see it done, because I'm standing up. I'm waiting for it.
We're going to stand behind our guns, and I'm with it.
I'm here.
I am a peace-loving man.
And I'm not saying the things that I'm saying because I'm against Occupy or anything. I'm saying it because I'm trying to motivate people. You know, I've been here for, what is it, almost...
It's a year.
It's almost a year.
No,
you know, but the thing is I've been at this stage in my life for close to 20 years. You know, I've been thinking about, you know, all this corruption and stuff. 20 years I've known about this. So I'm 40 now. I've known about it since I was in my 20s. You ask kids about it nowadays, they are dumbing down the public because they don't know shit. All they're concerned about is their fucking iPod and their friends and where they're going to get drunk that weekend. Fuck. I mean, sorry, I'll go off on a tangent. Take over for a minute. I'm going to have a cigarette.
Up next, okay, while he has a cigarette break, I'm going to let you do the cards.
Okay.
And that way I'll
Sure.
do myself.
Do your thing.
I have
yeah.
a couple fill-ins here, if we want to call them that. Okay, so all right. So we know all the problems. We know maybe a solution or two. Communication key. We have to get the word out, and we have to get the word out about like what to do. Not so much what to think, but ways of thinking can be suggested. I suggest them to you. I'm not stupid all the time. I am human. I am fallible. I do make mistakes. But I also recognize my mistakes. And it would be foolish for me not to be able to recognize those same mistakes in others and then question the motivation behind mistakes that are not just happenstance or repeated, but purposely repeated and or sold to me and shinied up and spin doctored. It was not okay for America to invade Iraq. It wasn't. There were no weapons of mass destruction. There wasn't. I know he's a bad person, Saddam Hussein, but it was a lie. And George Bush retired, and I mean, we can't impeach Clinton? Nothing happened? Are you serious? And I won't talk morals because I feel like the definition is gone. We could let that word die with an older system. In the computer age, we're able to view and gain knowledge of a lot of things. A lot. And I feel knowledge should not be censored. Maybe not used. I know how to use a gun, but I don't need to use one. I just don't. So I know how to squeeze a trigger. You know, I have fingers. In the same vein, though, I believe wisdom should be shared, and so I'm trying to share with you one of the wisdom books that I have. It's called the Hippie Bible, and it's written by God. I'm not joking. His name is also Tommy Dees, Dees. He has been a freedom fighter for humans, for gay and lesbian rights, for black, Latino, neighborhood rights, just simple things like taking care of crime with Community Watch and community involvement, knowing your neighbors. He's been involved in legislature in his community, and I'd like to say he's a personal friend of mine. But he has some suggestions and some knowledge to pass down in the Hippie Bible. Some things come straight from the Holy Bible. 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. And because I'll just read some from an easy one. You have chosen to be here in two ways. Number one, you were born a human that makes mistakes. Now we can call them sins, we could call them accidents, we could call them, mistakes. We call them those things because they weren't on purpose. They were accidents, or else we would call them on purposes. That you meant to do this. So we all know we're fallible, and so as we're fallible, we ought to be able to learn to forgive and maybe even forget. It's a simple thing. If you kill, you've taken away any choice, any future choice of that being to act differently. Um, Not to say they ever will. We're weird. We're sentient, multifaceted, conscious beings. We have imagination and memory and forethought, and we communicate on a lot of levels. And so it's a terrible thing to kill, to steal all the things I just mentioned that are on this rocket ship, flying through the universe called Earth, to wipe off one of those beings and to eradicate it. That's a hell of a thing. To have a community to vote that law and say that we're going to eradicate certain individuals, that's a big responsibility. Well, to have a community that lays back and changes the channel when the pictures of the latest soldier and or civilian and or collateral damage happens from corporations and governments that don't care about anything I just said. The only reason they care is because I've become subversive to their plans, and they don't like that. So I'm a potential threat because I have thought all by myself.
You're not a threat.
I'm not a threat. I'm actually, I am the raid to the cockroach. It's happening. By you listening to me, these harmonics, I believe in a lot of things, and I won't share those right now. I believe that our words are harmonies, yeah, and a lot of other things. And the butterfly effect does work.
Yes, the butterfly effect.
R2D2 just showed up here. I believe in aliens.
I just wanted to send a quick shout out to R2D2 since he just showed up, and my friend Codeframe SF, he's a streamer. He has a blog spot, occupycaravan.blogspot.com, and I'm gonna turn R2D2 down.
All right.
Real quick.
There's a picture of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Work it out. Make all the baskets do. Yeah. It's a good segue. Should we talk about the...
We're here to pump you up.
Not really. I'm not doing any exercise program just yet. I do like to exercise.
And a little background about me for some viewers,
Excuse me. I'm going to go on a cigarette break. When I come back, we'll smoke a joint.
Sure, and we'll go into
smoke a joint.
Okay. A little bit about me. I'm one of the people that showed up at Occupy San Francisco, joined several of the work groups, the communications team, the media team, or they like to use the term work group, same thing. Live stream team. There was some other teams that I just won't mention right now because they're not really active anymore at this point. And this is proof that I was there. October 22nd. Here's another one. October 15th, 8:30, left La Cafe Bohème. These are events for meetings, things that were happening back in October. I know it started September 17th. I was a little late getting there, but ballin'. It's been an interesting ride. I've enjoyed being part of Occupy San Francisco, but I've moved on to independent citizen journalism as my secondary job, as it would be now that I have a job. Got to pay the child support somehow, and it took a year to get that job, and I'm washing dishes in a kitchen. I have multiple talents and skills, training and experience, and that's the best that's out there for the common man that has I have an education, and it's difficult. So enough about me. Let's move on to some people that I'd like to talk about. Timothy F. Gethner, U.S. Treasury, wanted for financial crimes. Born August 18th, 1961 in Brooklyn, New York. Alma mater, Dartmouth College. Johns Hopkins University. There's the criminal right there. As president of the New York Federal Reserve in 2008, Geithner authorized the bailout of AIG. The bailout entailed the distribution of $182.3 billion. That's a lot of money. Under the New York Fed's instruction, AIG funded that money to Geithner's friends at Goldman Sachs and other firms in billion-dollar sweetheart deals. Yes, that's a criminal. That's just some of the information on the back. These are collector's cards from Occupy San Francisco. This one is card number 3. Wanted for financial crimes, Henry M. Hank Paulson, U.S. Treasury and former CEO of Goldman Sachs. See how these names start to tie together and they're all related with the money aspect of it? Let's get a picture of him up there so you know what he looks like. While serving as Treasury Secretary in 2008, Paulson publicly insisted that Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac would remain privately owned. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Paulson shared insider information with his former Wall Street colleagues that Fannie and Freddie would be taken into, can't read, it's too small, conservatorship by the government. So that's not private anymore. It's okay. Anyway, Ben Bernanke, U.S. Chairman, Federal Reserve, wanted for financial crimes. And all these guys are...
Look at his little smile.
All these guys are around the same age, except Paulson, he's 1946. He's kind of old.
A lot of them all went to Harvard. Harvard University is a snake pit. It really is. It breeds... Look at your presidents. If you like your presidents, you'll love Harvard. It's for the elite. It's where the elite are trained, and the dissenters are sloughed off. Yale, Harvard. I mean, that's, you're either in or you're out. They won't accept you if you think for yourself. You're not going to fit in, and you'll never find out all the good secrets that they hang in front of you. They have a lot of incentives to cultivate and keep whoever they want. And it's a vetting process for the elite, for their offspring.
So, oligarchy is a big club, and you're not in it. It's one I saw on Facebook. Sorry, I just had to poach that. Keep going.
Poverty is a label that the financial system gives people who don't have their currency. Poverty is also a standard of living that doesn't provide food, clothing, shelter, fuel, healthcare, the basic needs and upkeep from infant to senior citizen, from birth to death. Poverty, the struggle for life is a hell of a thing. If a lion jumps on you, you might, okay, if a monkey jumps on you, you might try and fight it. Or a dog, you might try and fight it. If another human jumps on you, you might try and fight them instead of just curling up. When you don't have food, clothing, shelter, heat, or cool enough conditions, when you don't have your basic needs, you're going to fight to survive. This is normal. And people who have to fight these labels, these terms, poverty, are thrown upon them because they're having to fight to survive, not live to live.
So thrive.
And yeah, live to thrive, or like the 1%ers, They live to oppress. It's really bizarre. They're
It's a
evil.
disease.
It's an evil manner, and I don't want to call them like demons. I'm not about that, and they aren't either. They are people, but they're dysfunctional people. In the same manner they want to call people bipolar, schizophrenic, they are psychotic. They are the Hitlers of today. They are the Nazis of all the problems that we're seeing come down. Not all the problems of the world, no. But they aren't solving any problems that we're having, and they're causing more. These same people that CIA was talking about, that, you know, the people you know. I mean, it is the entertainment industry. It is the media. If you don't know who these people are, it's because they're throwing up so many shiny things in front of you that you can't pay attention. You will trip and fall over some advertising marketing scheme, over a spin doctor. Years later, you'll pick stuff up and have it stuck in your brain where you can't think straight. Step away from all of it. There is harmony in unity. And when you unify, when we collect together, of course, we're as strong as we want to be. We send little nice satellite-driven devices to other spaceships like Mars or Venus. Call them planets. They're spaceships. We all are. They send these little devices there for trillions of dollars. Doesn't matter who spends the money. The money's fake. But they do this, and for their own scientific whatever development teams. They don't care that it went to Mars. They don't even want anything from Mars. They want us. And they want control of us. And it is down to that. They already control the food supply. They're changing the crops. They're copywriting everything. They're changing the marketing. You can't buy something unless you have plastic, and they'd rather you have a plastic food stamp card so that they can watch what you buy when you go into a store. And I can keep going on and on. Solutions. There are solutions. People have solutions. There's alternative energy, not just the ones we know. If you're an inventor, if you're a discoverer, God knows, please don't register your invention unless you want to make money and or have the government suppress it and kill you. They do this. They don't want your new carburetor. I know you can make a new one that runs better. I've seen it done. I'm from the country. They'll charge you with federal crimes. They'll buy your lawyer off. They'll pay everyone around you to make sure that you're convicted of a crime you don't even know you commit.
All right, I'm going to just throw this out there real quick. So I'm going to start playing, see if we have sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
So
electromagnetic field over the area where the crop's been laid down to create the image is
So-
often electrostatically charged. Some of these areas are littered with strange magnetic places.
Check this out.
One of the most amazing crop designs is not a circle, but a rectangle that seems to be a direct response to a message sent out into space in 1974. The message was a radio signal depicting our planet's location in our solar system and Earth's people, in hopes that it might be received and interpreted by an extraterrestrial intelligence. 27 years later, in 2001, this crop design appeared in England, along with what could be a self-portrait of the sender. This message matches the format of the NASA signal and describes a different solar system from ours, a picture of the sender, non-human DNA, and a microwave antenna they apparently used to communicate, rather than the radio antenna that we used. The antenna symbol had appeared a year earlier in exactly the same field, right next to a working radio wave antenna, like the one NASA used to send out the original signal.
how about that? Yeah. That's
NASA
how you like
continues
that.
to officially deny extraterrestrial contact of any kind.
Is the picture frozen? Because that one.
no.
is.
I froze that one on purpose so it wouldn't mess with the.
Oh, okay.
I can update here.
All right.
See.
It's coming over the phone.
I know. I fixed it.
Hello.
Didn't have the headphones in quick enough.
I know. It's okay. There we go.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was rather interesting. That's the kind of information that you just don't normally find out there, and you know, sharing that information, somebody's going to be like, you know, if you tell somebody, oh yeah, I saw a UFO, which I have.
Okay.
You know, not close up. I saw. I thought it was a satellite cruising across the sky, and then it went like this and took off. Like, and you don't see
Right.
satellites do that
Right.
and change trajectory. So I mean, I'm
Hello
a
to our
firm
space
believer
friends. My name is Zero. You know where I live.
on planet Earth.
Come down and see me. Actually, they know exactly where I am right now. You know, if you have just a million years technology more than we do, enough to get from here to there, you think they can't watch a live feed with their own technology from wherever they might be
Well,
parked?
And that clip there, that came from the movie Thrive.
Thrive.
Check
And
it out,
do
it's on
watch that
YouTube.
movie.
Yes.
It almost made me cry at one part. It definitely made me smile, and it definitely it moved me. It moved me.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
Looks like it. Should we clean the camera lens? I think you gotta take her out.
No, I might have to.
I should give him a better picture. I wasn't paying attention there. All right.
Okay.
So I'm improvising here with the camera. I was supposed to be using that one, and I'll let you continue on. You were going to talk about, you had some artwork.
Wow.
Zero's a fantastic artist. You should really check this out. He's did some drawings that I got to take some pictures of. I guess they're gone now. They were inside walls.
Oh, the paintings?
At a squat, yeah. And
Paintings,
at a squat in San Francisco. It was a refugee type camp, in my opinion, for people that needed to get some rest. It was also a place where, unfortunately, the tweakers and stuff would go and
Earlier,
break shit up. That was it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you kind of cleaned them out.
I cleaned out all the junkies. I'm sorry, it's just not conducive to a positive growth atmosphere. Cleaned up a bunch of stuff. Anyway, it's a beautiful place. I'm glad I had that one. I called it home.
You know what? Before you get started on that, let's
Sure.
we're almost at an hour, and we'll
All right.
probably go for another maybe 45 minutes after this
Okay.
or so, because we got some other stuff to do and wrap it up. But I'm gonna start to cancel the transmission, save it to archive, and then come back and we'll do an introduction real quick
Okay.
for the people that catch the last video on feed.
Okay,
And
so we're coming back then.
we'll be right back.
We will be right back. No messages. Aren't you happy? No advertising.